Okay, here we go. We're gonna try and see if we can't do this in one take. That'd be great, wouldn't it? All right, this is our first beginner's class in Japanese cooking, and I love Japanese food. My son actually is Japanese. His father was Japanese Filipino, so he's a big mishmash actually. But we're going to start out really super easy. And let's get our tofu over here. So we're making miso soup, and you might have had miso soup at a Japanese restaurant. It's just one of the nicest things that you can actually have. It's really delicious, and it's very easy to make. Okay. So what we've got here is we have some sushi nori, okay? So it looks like this, and anything that's really dry, like the products we're using, will come with a packet. Leave the packet inside, don't remove it, because it keeps it fresh. It's a fresh packet. And so I also keep my nori inside of a Ziploc, and then if there's any extra nori left, I'll just slide it in there also, and keep that like in the cupboard so it stays very fresh. Otherwise it will get stale. Okay. I already used a pair of scissors and cut the strips up. It's very easy to do. Let's do a demonstration. You just cut it in small strips like that. And then however size you want it, I actually wanted it fairly small, so I just flipped it like that. Put it into a little bowl using my scissors. Okay. I did a bunch of strips at one time because I wanted to have enough for the entire, we're gonna make 2 bowls of it. It's so simple to make. Okay, all right, so that's that. Then, we have our jug in the back. The jug is got water, spring water in it. It's getting ready to boil. Now, one of the other ingredients that I like to put is tofu. So this tofu is an organic, firm tofu. And as you can see here, okay, I cut it up into very tiny pieces because I like these little chunks of tofu. Some people don't use it. Some people don't use the seaweed. It's all up to you. I prefer it just like that. So there's the jug. Jug just went off. So then the other ingredient is dashi, ichiban dashi. So there's different kinds of dashi. There's the first dashi and then the second dashi. This is ichiban dashi. Now it comes dried in a jar that looks like that. It's about $4 for a jar. And if you keep it, it'll keep a really long time. It'll keep on the shelf forever, basically. I mean, 10 years at least. But what'll happen is you might open it up, and instead of it being very powdery, like this one is powdery and easy to measure, it'll get dry. And so all you have to do, if you look in there and you can't spoon your dashi out, is put some water in it and then let it set, and it'll dissolve, and then what you'll have is a concentrate of dashi. So the other ingredient is miso. And what we're making is a white miso. There are different kinds of miso. This one, I already tried it. It is so good. It's really just salty deliciousness. It's soybean paste that's been fermented a little bit. This one is white, and so this is what it looks like. In fact, it's kind of cool. When I got it, okay? It came with this packet inside also, and this is what it looked like. See, what we're gonna be using is we're gonna be using our chopsticks quite a bit today to use to cook with. So there's a little layer that goes on top, and this is what the miso looked like when I opened it up. And then I measured out a teaspoon for each of our soups. So, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and put that back in, put its little flavor pack, the little preservative packet on top, just like I got it, and then put it back together. Okay, so those are the ingredients that we have. That's the liquid one, that's the dry one. I already measured everything out that I wanted, okay? So for each bowl of miso soup, what we want is 1 teaspoon. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the teaspoon in to each one of these bowls. That over there for now. And this is really up to your taste, okay? However you like it. Now I like it. It's so good. Oh my God, and it's so nice on a winter day just to make this up, and it's fast and easy. Okay, you take 1 teaspoon of your concentrate. It takes 1 teaspoon to 3 cups of water, and look at how beautiful it's gonna come out. It's gonna be so just yellow and yummy. We'll set that off on the side. Okay. So then we've got our water, and I'm gonna measure out 3 cups. I'm just gonna stir it around. And I'm looking here on the measuring side. And that's 3 cups. There we go. Yep, perfect. And then you know what I'm gonna do now? I'm actually gonna take my spoon that I used to measure it, clean it off in here. It's a very light, kind of a smoky, it's just delicious flavor. I just love it. Okay. The other thing that I did use, besides we got the teaspoons, is I did use a very sharp knife. That was to chop up the tofu, okay? So what I want to do is, we've got our miso in here. So I'm going to fill each of these bowls, a little bit into each one to start with. Give that a second. Then I'm going to take my chopsticks and I'm just going to stir that around, and that's going to get it incorporated because the water's pretty warm. You can see it's kind of like steaming up. Okay. So once I get that stirred in really well, there we go. We're going to fill it up a little bit more. About, they say 80%, okay? That you're not supposed to fill anything when you're doing Japanese food more than 80%. That could be rice. If you're doing a rice dish, you would fill it 80%. It's an 80-20 thing that the Japanese believe, that you should never eat until you're overly full. You should only eat until you're about 80% full, and that way you won't be uncomfortable when you're done eating. And I think that's a pretty good idea, actually. Okay, so I'm just eyeballing it for how much tofu I think I want in each one. That looked pretty good to me. Then I'm just going to take a pinch of my nori and sprinkle that on top. And that works out to be our pretty garnish. And it's actually quite beautiful. Let me get the phone and show you guys what it looks like at this point. You see it? It looks lovely. That's perfect. And the nori really, really comes out. That nori just, you could really smell the seaweedy, oceany flavor. And that's it. You're done. And it's ready to be served. Oh, I cannot, it's like one of my favorite things on a cold winter day. Arigato. Lost my headset again. It is what it is. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. This is the Sexy Beast Caterer. We're back in the Sexy Beast kitchen and we're working on lessons in Japanese food, beginning lessons in Japanese food. We might progress into some of the more difficult ones, but these are just going to be the really easy ones to do that you can do at home yourself. Peace out, everybody.